It is 5:30 and welcome to the City Council meeting of Thursday, October 2nd, 2025. The Opens Meeting Act is posted on the east wall of the council chambers, and a notice of this meeting was published in the York News Times on September 25th, 2025. If you would, please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amanda, the roll call.
McGregor.
Here.
Northrup. North.
Here.
Shepherd. Here. Postier.
Here.
Wilkinson.
Here.
Vanish.
Here.
Piper.
Here.
You were all set the minutes of the September 18th, 2025 minutes meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes?
Move for approval.
Second?
Motion and a second, Amanda.
McGregor.
Yes.
North.
Yes.
Shepherd. Yes. Postier.
Yes.
Wilkinson.
Yes.
Vanish.
Yes.
Piper.
Yes.
Our next agenda item are claims of elected officials.
We do have two claims of elected officials. First is Tony North of North Printing and Office Supply in the amount of $739.68. I move for approval.
Second?
Motion and a second, Amanda.
McGregor.
Yes.
North.
Abstain?
Shepherd. Yes. Postier.
Yes.
Wilkinson.
Yes.
Vanish.
Yes.
Piper.
Yes.
Second, we have a claim from Stephen Postier as a business relationship with York County Development Corporation in the amount of $9,076.75. I move for approval.
Second?
Motion and a second, Amanda.
McGregor.
Yes.
North.
Yes.
Shepherd. Yes. Postier.
Abstain?
Wilkinson.
Yes.
Vanish.
Yes.
Piper.
Yes.
Our next item are the claims of the period of September 19th through October 2nd, 2025.
The Finance Committee did meet yesterday to go through those claims for the period of September 19th through 2025 through October 2nd of 2025, which is actually ends one fiscal year and starts another one, and I move for approval.
Second?
Motion and a second. Any further questions of the Finance Committee? Hearing none, Amanda.
McGregor.
Yes.
North.
Yes.
Shepherd. Yes. Postier.
Yes.
Wilkinson.
Yes.
Vanish.
Yes.
Piper.
Yes.
Next is City Administrator Report. Dr. Crawford.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. I have a tax lesson here. So our sales taxes are very important and a key part of our revenue for the city, for city business. So it's important, and you know that in addition, the sales tax revenue is both the revenue that comes from taxable sales, and then subtracted out of that are the state economic development incentives. So I just wanted to help clarify that, and I'll be sending a news release to the papers as well to help clarify that. The state report showed a small dip in sales tax revenues for the city of York, but that is not because our sales dropped. That's because the incentives came out. So the incentives come out before we get the money. So we got less revenue, but not because we had fewer sales. If you didn't put the, if you see the revenues before those incentives come out, it was an increase of 1.48. And also one of those summer months was one of our best months ever, right? So we're seeing good economic growth. And it's also the case, I guess the good side of when you get rebates coming is that some economic growth occurred because the state economic development program that only provides those rebates if a company has met investment targets or workforce targets. So, you know, so the fact that things are pulling out of our sales tax also means some economic development is happening and people are meeting investment targets and workforce targets. And in fact, the valuation growth due to real property growth, according to the assessor, was over 4%. So that's a good, amount of growth in the community as well. So last year, about 2% of our sales tax revenues got pulled out. This upcoming year, we also were being very cautious in terms of what we put in as budgeted sales tax revenues because of that, because we already know over $250,000 is coming out next year, which is about 4% of what we thought our sales tax revenues might be. So, that's more. So we're very cautious and we budget knowing that. You always know with sales tax, that they're very vulnerable to the economy, right? So you always are careful when you budget sales tax already. But we also budget with care to the fact that we don't know always how many rebates might come in. The state tells us 6 months ahead, so we have some warning to adjust if we need to adjust. And we've already built our budget knowing we have over $250,000 of those rebates coming in this next budget year. So that is a little sales tax, economic development, mini lecture, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
The program through, is it Nebraska Advantage, is that what it is?
Right, so there's Nebraska Advantage and Imagine Nebraska. So there are two the old economic development program and the new one. The state decides who gets those incentives, and that's part of what the press release will indicate as well. So it is the case that the state is deciding who can qualify for those and if they qualify, and we don't get to play a role in that decision.
And it's also, we might want to tell everybody also in that release that we don't know who.
We don't know who, right?
these
Yeah,
are,
that's
what
right.
they- We have no idea, now tell us, and we just have to divide it.
They just give you, just take
They
it.
just tell you how much it's coming.
Yeah.
It's the state ultimately obligating the city's sales tax dollars
Yeah.
for their program.
Right. Right, so that's,
How to fund an unfunded mandate.
all right.
So, any further questions? Thank you, Dr. Crawford. Our next agenda item is consider approval to authorize a recognition dinner to be held for city officials and employees with an expenditure not to exceed $50 per official and employee who attends for the cost of this meal and non-alcoholic beverages, total expenditure not to exceed $2,500. So this is basically a recognition in the Christmas time that we had last year for the employees, and I think it was very well received, and they all enjoyed it. And we've tried lunches and different things, but this seemed to go over quite well. So I think it was a positive morale and thing that happened last year. So I think Dr. Crawford would like to do that again.
I agree. I had quite a few city employees say thank you for that event instead of just the lunches and potlucks and whatever.
I move for approval.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further comment? Amanda?
McGregor.
Yes.
North.
Yes.
Shepherd. Yes. Postier.
Yes.
Wilkinson.
Yes.
Van Esch.
Yes.
Piper.
Yes.
Next is to consider approval of a bid from First Wireless, Inc. for the fire station communication system in the amount of $66,176.33. Chief, please, to the microphone, and we'll turn this over to you to tell us about this.
Okay, when we went through the design process for the new fire station, there was a couple of things that we were gonna do on our own. One was the communications, the other was the alerting system. This is part of the communications, like we talked tonight during the tour, they're gonna build the tower. This is the installation of the antennas and everything that goes on the tower. So this bid is for $66,000. It's under what we thought it was going to be. We've checked references. We've also done business with this vendor in the past. If you recall, 3 years ago, we bought new radios, portable radios for our personnel. We went through them as a vendor, so we have experience with them. He's Doug, who's our representative that we talked to, is a good person. And we don't have, if you do look through it, we did have an issue with the time frame because they said installation late March of 2026. Well, that's not gonna work. And that was because of a supply issue with the vault that goes to the base of the tower. We've since found a substitute for that, and it does not affect the bid. So I would recommend approval. Any other questions?
See, on the bid that we had in our packet, it was about $2,000 higher than what's on the agenda, you know.
There was sales tax. The sales tax was figured out.
Any other questions of the chief?
Charlie did have some warranty questions, but we got that all worked out.
Good.
I move for approval.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further comments? Amanda?
McGregor.
Yes.
North.
Yes.
Shepherd. Yes. Postier.
Yes.
Wilkinson.
Yes.
Van Esch.
Yes.
Piper.
Thank you, Chief, and thank you for the tour. Next is consider approval of an agreement with Benish for the 4-inch water main replacement project, construction services amount not to exceed $120,060. James?
Yep, we're looking for approval tonight. Benish did design the 4-inch water main replacement project. So we would like to have consideration for them to do some construction services. On attachment A, scope of services, we had a couple conversations with Benish, and the items that were highlighted in red are actually city responsibility, namely our project manager, Chuck Starbuck. He's going to be on site doing the inspector daily reports and all the items in red. In Chuck's absence, it'll be Brandon Ozentowski or myself that'll be handling these duties. And part of this was, this is a not to exceed $120,000 or $120,060 with our part in the project inspection and observation task. I'm hoping to not come close to that. But if there is an issue with some of the engineering design, some of this money could help cover that cost within the project as well for engineering, any further engineering that we need to have.
The initial project was competitively bid to design it, and then this is the construction management on that project that was designed by Benish. And so I recommend that we approve the bid by Benish as proposed, and instead of bidding the construction design as a separate project.
Any questions on that? Seems logical since they did it, and it looks like you're trying to manage the number pretty efficiently, so appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further comment? Hearing none. Amanda?
McGregor.
Yes.
North.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
Postier.
Yes.
Wilkinson.
Yes.
Van Esch.
Yes.
Piper.
Yes.
Our next item is consider approval of a quote from CCS for Phase 1 and 3 ballroom, remaining ballroom projectors for the Holtis Convention Center in the amount of $134,794.66. Welcome, Terry.
Hi there. So this was a budgeted item that we knew was coming eventually. We've been having on and off issues with the brain of our AV system. So far we've been able to put Band-Aids on it and workarounds, but that's not going to be able to happen all the time. So this would prevent that from happening. They'll go in and they'll replace the brain part of the system, and then we're also going to do replacements of the 4 remaining projectors in the ballroom. So a couple months ago, we did the 2 big ones on either side of the stage to laser projectors. This would be updating the remaining 4 to laser projectors as well. Again, before those go down, we've had issues with some of them, but again, we've been able to fix it. But one of these days, it's not going to be fixable, and then we're going to be stuck with groups and no projectors. So this is just to get ahead of it and be proactive to get all these updates made before something major happens. Yes.
We had this in the budget?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, so we had 150 as a capital. This was one, so we went to CCS and I basically gave them a wish list, including things that had to be done and future. So we had 7 different phases. These are the 2 priority phases that we want to get taken care of. So we're not obviously using the whole 150, it's 134, but the reason for that is just in case something else comes up, because I mean, it's like 2 days into.
When you talk to them, what do they give you any expectations on what the life expectancy of, I mean,
Yeah.
you know technology, but what the life expectancy of this should be for
Yeah,
the...
so I mean, our other one's 11 years old. And when they put it in, I mean, it was great, it was awesome, but I mean, that's 11 years ago and a lot has changed. So this obviously is one, again, I think they say 10 years is kind of a good number. The nice thing is the people that are all working on this, Tyler is actually with the company. So he's with CCS, he used to be with CCS, and he's the one that's like the engineer for the brand that we're putting in. So he knows our system better than anybody. And then Martin has been with CCS for probably 6 years now, and he's the one he's our go-to. Anytime something goes down, we can call him, he can help us troubleshoot over the phone. So both of them are very confident that they know the system, they know how we use it, that this is a good system for us. It's not like crazy, because obviously there's a lot of things we don't do, but it's it's sufficient for how we utilize the system.
So it says phase 1 and 3.
Yes.
What's 2? Are you
So,
missing? in there?
yeah, so 2, I'm trying to remember what 2 was. 2, I think, was, there was a camera system they wanted in the ballroom. I think that's what 2 was, but it was something that I don't think is necessary. Basically the way they did 1 was they kind of grouped it together. If you did 1 and 2, those would have to go together because 2 would have to happen when the brain part goes in. But we're not gonna do 2 at all, so then we jump to 3. And then, I can't even remember, because some were like side rooms, I think it was maybe stage 4 or phase 4. So yeah, it's just varying degrees. But 2 is something that if we wanted to do it, would be ideal to do it with phase 1, but we're not going to do that.
This proposal is integrated with the existing AV systems in the Holtus. So we're not able to have a competitive bidding process because everything needs to speak to one another. So it was important to go ahead and work with a company that won the bid for the large screen and the company we've been working with. And so that is why I recommend that we approve this proposal as proposed and not put this project out for a competitive bid.
On the warranty, there's for the hardware you got a year, but what about for technical assistance? How will that work moving forward for?
Right now, it's just an hourly fee that we pay them. Ideally, once this is in, we're not gonna have problems like this last year, there was a lot of AV expense.
Right.
At one point in time, we literally had wires going from the rack to a table. It was not ideal. And that took a lot of hours to get to that point. So ideally, once this is in, outside of making sure this is working properly, we should not be calling them near as much as we've been calling them this past year. Yeah.
Council, any other questions of Terry while she's at the microphone? Thank you very much.
Move for approval. I second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further comment? Amanda?
McGregor.
Yes.
North.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
Postier.
Yes.
Wilkinson.
Yes.
Van Esch.
Yes.
Piper.
Yes.
Our next agenda item is we need to consider approval of the agreement between the City of York and the York Professional Firefighters Local 1648 for the period of September 22nd, 2025 through September 30th, 2026. So we finally did, we've been in some negotiations. There really wasn't a lot of changes or things, but it seemed like it took us a little while to get that done, but it's done. And so this was kind of our deadline at this meeting so that we could get that put together. I think you highlighted in a memo to everyone about the lieutenant position coming in later, and I think that's really the only change in this, the main change in this contract.
And similar cost of living that other city
Yes.
employees got.
Yep, consistent with that, what other employees did get. So we need to approve this agreement.
I move for approval.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further comments or questions? Amanda?
McGregor.
Yes.
North.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
Postier.
Yes.
Wilkinson.
Yes.
Van Esch.
Yes.
Piper.
Yes.
Our last agenda item is to consider approval of Resolution 2025-21 to amend the job classifications and pay grades. Dr. Crawford.
Thank you, Mayor, thank you, Council. So the changes here, we had one title of a job that we needed to correct so that it would be consistent with this job description that we have on file. So we updated the job description, so we updated this list as well. And that was the deputy clerk treasurer position. And then, as you know, as part of the budget, we increased the classification of several of the public works jobs that require the CDL and require the drug testing. And so this amendment creates a non-CDL classification for those positions so that when someone is initially hired, or if there's a reason that we hire someone for that job that doesn't have a CDL, they are in that classification.
Thank you for that explanation. So we would need to approve this resolution, just to clean that up.
Move for approval, resolution 2025-21.
Second.
Thank you. Any further comments? Amanda?
McGregor.
Yes.
North.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
Postier.
Yes.
Wilkinson.
Yes.
Van Ashe.
Yes.
Piper.
Yes.
And that brings us to the end of our agenda, and you guys got it easy tonight, 20 minutes. And we are adjourned. Thank you all for coming.